Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dominika Pancakova. I'm from bioeconomy cluster in Slovakia, which is one of the partners in BIOECO-UP project. And within the next few minutes, I would like to share with you experiences of the project, how collaboration can help to create bioeconomy value chains, but I think that we still have to wait for my presentation to appear on the screen. But I will present how within the project we developed and tested procedures for bioeconomy intersectoral cooperation and how we try to answer the question how can we connect stakeholders, sectors and knowledge to unlock the potential of bioeconomy in the Central European region. As I said, bioeconomy is very important and it brings significant opportunities for sustainable development as it involves various sectors, and this allows us to use biological resources in a very efficient and circular way. And even though the bioeconomy has a big potential in the region, there is one challenge remaining, and that is that sectors often operate separately with limited interaction between them. However, without effective intersectoral cooperation, it would be really difficult to create integrated value chains that can transform biomass into innovative bio-based products and services. And therefore, within the project, we try to analyze what are the key barriers that hinder the collaboration within the sectors. And we have identified several common barriers that appeared within the region of the project. One of the most frequently mentioned barrier was fragmentation of actors and information because there is a limited awareness of each other's activities, and also there is a situation in the countries or even in the regions that there is fragmented or even missing information of biomass availability on the market. Furthermore, the constraints related to the infrastructure and logistics occur as well because the resources that the bioeconomy involve are often bulky, perishable, or seasonally available, and this is also associated with the appropriate storage and distances that stakeholders have to face with. And of course, there is also a problem with the demand for bio-based products in comparison to alternatives, the price competitiveness, and even the access to finances in case of startups or small and medium-sized companies. And since the intersectoral collaboration is not also only about the technical expertise, it is also about soft skills. So there is even a problem with the right communication and appropriate setting of clear goals when trying to design value chains. And last but not least, I would say that very often it was mentioned that the regulatory complexity is a big issue. It was even mentioned several times today that the problem with the understanding of regulation or even the differences within the regulatory in each country is very complex and problematic, and also the problem with the classification of the materials within the bioeconomy is a huge problem because there are different classifications of waste, byproducts, or secondary raw materials, and this affects also how companies can collaborate and create maybe future potential collaboration opportunities even in different countries. And therefore, within the project, we focused on a framework for intersectoral cooperation, and thanks to the partners, the different partners from European region, we were able to bring various expertise and background of various important and interesting stakeholders, and we have organized various activities within the duration of the project. And thanks to these, we were able to understand the needs, but also the opportunities of each sector and region, or not sector, but only regions within the Central Europe that are occurring on the market. And based on this, we have identified that there is a need for a structured but still flexible framework for the developing intersectoral cooperation procedures, and therefore we have designed a step-by-step guideline or framework based on DDIA framework, which stands for Diagnosis, Design, Implement and Assessment. And this framework helps stakeholders to understand the local bioeconomy context, then to move towards the designing and testing of value chains, and finally to the assessment and evaluation, because without this we cannot ensure continuous improvement. And it is all about the collection of data, about the identification of right stakeholders, identification about gaps and opportunities, and putting those information together, give stakeholders opportunity to collaborate and work on some concept that they can test it in a small scale or on theoretical basis at the beginning, and they can see whether this can work also in the future. And since we didn't want to stay only on the theoretical background, and we wanted to also focus more on the practical things, each partner involved in the project try to propose some connection, practical connection between businesses, and so they act as intermediaries and put together at least two businesses, one the producer of bio-based material or waste, and the second one the producer of the bio-based product with more higher value added. And these stakeholders were discussing potential collaboration of their ideas and materials and availabilities that they have. And these are the results that were these are the results that we can see on the screen, that they're products of this cooperation. So this was discussed and proposed on theoretical level, but we can see that thanks to the valorization of agriculture and the livestock residues, various organic fertilizers or repellents can be produced. Of course, valorizing of the fish residues can also lead to the fertilizers. We have seen results of the food processing and food products like the beer flour produced from the brewer's spent grade, and also various packaging products, for example, from apple or tomato resin. And these were very interesting ideas, and in some cases actors were even not aware that these kind of solutions or ideas can occur. And also, we didn't stay only on the national levels, but we would try to propose some kind of transnational value chains. These were hypothetical and described only on theoretical level, so these businesses didn't met in reality, but we tried to combine those solutions developed on national level, and according to the feasibility and other criteria that we set within the project, we selected two most promising. One of them is bio-coated apple cellulose packaging, which combines apple paper packaging with tomato-based bioresin to produce compostable food packaging solutions. And then also hemp wool horticulture mats. These can be used for vineyards, orchards, and landscaping applications, and they are biodegradable. So these were the hypothetical, as I would like to highlight, transnational value chains, but still this is the result, how maybe the knowledge of information and connection of appropriate stakeholders can result in bioeconomy value chains. And of course, as I mentioned, we didn't want to stay only on theoretical background, therefore we have described various practical solutions within the document that we elaborated within the project, and this will be available in our project website. And to put various solutions for the beginning of the collaboration, like identification of SMART objective goals or template for memorandum of understanding, but also for the further stages of the collaboration. We have introduced, for example, the offtake agreement or template or the risk analysis tool or other tools that can be used. And I would like to also highlight the role of various events, platforms, and working groups that are organized within the Europe, but in the whole world. And it is very important to use them to strengthen the collaboration, because this is a very good place where the actors can connect, they can validate their ideas, maybe get new information, and I would strengthen that this ecosystem is really enabling the strength collaboration also in the future. And since we have a really tight time schedule, I would just like to summarize maybe the key lessons from the project, that it is really, really important to start engaging the stakeholders from the beginning. It is important to use a clear communication language so they understand what are the goals or maybe some ideas in the future. And to have some kind of structure, but still the structure that is flexible, because it needs to be adaptable to various conditions, sectors, and also resources. And maybe I will just conclude with the sentence that the bioeconomy is not only about the biomass, but also about the collaboration, and therefore we need to strengthen it and try to provide space for creating various collaboration opportunities in the future. So thank you very much.